You know, when we think of ancient India, our minds usually jump to the Vedic culture, right? The source of so many famous texts and traditions. But what if I told you that long, long before that, a massive, incredibly advanced civilization called this same land home, and then it was just lost, forgotten for thousands of years?
And that's the big question we're tackling today. Who exactly lived in India before the Vedic Age? We're going to peel back the layers of time to uncover a lost world that honestly changes everything you thought you knew about ancient history on the subcontinent.
Okay, so let's just start with the scale, because this is just staggering. The Indus Valley Civilization, or the IVC as we'll call it, wasn't just another player in the Bronze Age. It was a superpower. I mean, look at that chart. Its territory was more than 12 times the size of ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia combined. It was, without a doubt, the largest civilization of its time.
So how on earth does something that massive just vanish from the history books? For millennia, that's exactly what happened. Its rediscovery wasn't some big eureka moment. It was this slow, century-long puzzle, with people slowly finding the pieces.
It really started with just a passing note from a traveler back in 1826. Then, decades later, railway engineers, and this is wild, they started using these ancient weathered bricks they found lying around to build a railway line. They had no idea they were literally dismantling a lost city for track ballast. It wasn't until the 1920s that proper excavations finally started, first at Harappa and then at the truly incredible site of Mohenjo-daro. And just like that, a lost world started to reemerge.
So now that it was officially found, archaeologists could really start to piece together the true size of the civilization. And what they uncovered? Well, it was absolutely breathtaking.
We're not talking about a few towns here and there. To date, archaeologists have found over 1,500 cities and settlements. And what's really fascinating is that the vast majority of these sites, around 925 of them, are located inside the borders of modern-day India.
And all of those sites, they add up to this number: over 1.3 million square kilometers. It's just a colossal area, completely dwarfing its more famous contemporaries.
This table really helps you visualize that reach. The civilization stretched all the way from the foothills of the Himalayas in Jammu and Kashmir down to Maharashtra in the south. That's a 1,400-kilometer journey, and it went from Uttar Pradesh in the east all the way to the modern-day border of Iran in the west. This wasn't just a kingdom, it was an empire of culture.
But honestly, the most mind-blowing thing about the IVC wasn't its size. It was the sheer genius of their cities. These people were masters of urban planning on a scale the world had literally never seen before.
And they had a blueprint. Most of their major cities followed this really clever two-part structure. You'd have a raised, fortified area called the citadel, probably for public buildings and the ruling class. And then, below it, you'd have the much larger, lower town, this perfectly planned residential area where everyone else lived.
But they weren't all cookie-cutter cities. You see some fascinating variations. The city of Dholavira in Gujarat, for instance, is totally unique. It had a three-part layout, with a special middle town between the citadel and the lower town. Archaeologists think this might have been an exclusive neighborhood for wealthy merchants.
The key takeaway here is just their incredible level of organization. We're talking streets laid out in a perfect grid, main roads that were 10 meters wide. And this is the real stunner. Almost every single house had its own well and bathroom, and all of them were connected to a citywide, covered drainage system. I mean, think about that. This level of public sanitation wouldn't be seen again in this part of the world for thousands of years.
So who were these brilliant city planners? What was life actually like for the people walking these perfectly gridded streets? Let's take a look at their culture and their incredible innovations.
Well, for starters, they were masters of technology. They expertly blended copper and tin to create strong bronze tools. They standardized almost everything, from the size of their kiln-fired bricks to a super precise system of weights and measures, which is crucial for fair trade across a huge empire. And their craftsmanship, just exquisite. The pottery, the seals, the jewelry, simply beautiful.
And boy did they trade. The city of Lothal in Gujarat is home to what many believe is the world's oldest known man-made dockyard. This incredible piece of engineering was their gateway to the Arabian Sea, letting them trade with other great civilizations like Mesopotamia.
Now here's where it gets really puzzling, in a good way. Despite being so huge and organized, archaeologists have found very few weapons. There are no grand palaces for kings, no massive temples for gods. This has led a lot of experts to believe the IVC was a remarkably peaceful place, maybe even an egalitarian one, built more on trade and craft than on conquest and war.
But for everything we've managed to learn, the single greatest secret of the Indus Valley Civilization remains completely locked away. It's the one thing that keeps us from truly, finally knowing who they were.
This is it, the Indus script. It's a beautiful and complex writing system with over 400 unique symbols. We find it on thousands of these tiny soapstone seals, on pottery, on tablets, but we can't read it, not one word. It's one of the last major undeciphered scripts from the ancient world.
Cracking this code, that's the final frontier. It could tell us their names, their leaders, their gods, their stories. It would finally give a voice to this silent, forgotten world. And it just makes you wonder, what incredible secrets are sitting right there, hidden in plain sight, just waiting for us to finally understand?